So hello, you guys. This is Bobby. Bobby, sit. Okay. So we talked about. Anyways, my name is Sondra. I was in the United States sailor. I was a first class petty officer in the United States Navy, and I suffered from PTSD, anxiety, military sexual trauma, and depression. And so I had not a service dog, but I had an emotional support dog, and her name was Sade. And I had her for 11 years. And the reason why I bring her up is because maybe not everybody specifically is going to be able to get a service dog, but I want you to be able to know that regular dogs or dogs that you can get from other places are going to have just as much potential as to love you unconditionally than a service dog is. But the difference between the service dog, and I was just talking to the class today, was that with the service dog there's a manual. Like I actually did a manual. I think there's probably 8 or 9 or 10 different lectures, and you guys are more than willing to look at it if you want. Lectures on different things like grooming, the definite necessities. I can't even say the word. The necessity.
Necessity?
Yeah. The necessities of grooming your dog, and thank you, and making sure that his eyes are good, his ears are good, everything is good on him, because he's got a job to do for you, right? So we have to maintain this, and you can see where that would transfer over to an emotional support dog too, right? Of course, the body and health of a dog is paramount, and then training on like different ways of how he's supposed to be communicating. So a regular emotional support dog might be wagging his tail, and like for my dog would bark at anything, okay? And so I'd have to tailor that in. But with Bobby, he can be at any given place at any given time, and if he's gonna bark, that means something's going on. That means like I need to look and like stop and be like, okay, and reposition myself. But what he's doing for me right now even is awesome, because one, he's looking at me and I'll look at him and I'm calm because I'm a little nervous to be in front of you guys. Let's just admit it. This is not my normal thing. And look what he just did. He touched my foot. So that's another way to like, Mama, calm down, breathe. Thank you, Bobby. I know. And he also can look. So he scans all the time around me. So right now I'm okay for the simple fact that I am hypervigilant right now, so I am scanning the room myself because he's not doing it here, but I know that he's doing it this way, if that makes sense, right? Another thing that he does for me is I had so much grief when I lost my other dog that I didn't think I could get another dog, but what was going on is I was starting to shut down. I was starting to shut down in the sense that I didn't want to go outside, I didn't want to engage, I didn't want to be a civilian. And I definitely didn't want to do the things that maybe normal people would do. I didn't want to go to the grocery store. I didn't want to be in crowds. I didn't want to go anywhere where there's going to be, I didn't want to go on elevators. There's a lot of things I didn't want to do. But I would never admit it to myself. So I would just make excuses not to get things done, and then I would get really on myself about like, wow, I'm procrastinating in my life here. I didn't realize I was just suffering from massive grief from losing a career, massive grief from losing a dog. My sense of style, because I had a uniform I used to wear every day. Like when you take that thing off, it's still in you in a way. And so I had to figure out a way to incorporate that into my life. And so having Bobby wear a service dog uniform for me has been one of the best things, because I actually tell him he can go to work today, which for some strange reason I'm almost gonna get emotional for it, is I don't work anymore in the military, sorry. But I'm not sorry, but I get emotional because it was something that I love doing. But putting on a uniform for him, wow, this is the first time I've actually gotten emotional over it, is so beneficial, because I get to say, put on the uniform, let's go to work. And so that means so much to me, because then then the uniform goes to something else, right? So not only is he giving that, but also the grief that I had with the dog, Sade, when I love on Bobby, I get love from him back, but it's like almost getting love from 2 different dogs. Because the things that I do on him, like kiss him and stuff like that, I remember the love I had for another dog, but then when he gives the love back, I get the love back with like the 2 dogs, one that I miss and one that's here. And so if you're ever grieving about things, I just want you to know grief is love misplaced. Like there's nowhere for love to go. That's the feeling of grief. You just don't know where to put things, and it's trapped, right? So having Bobby as a service dog has really so many different levels. One other thing I love about dogs is the inability to care about what's going on. They're in the moment. Like this guy goes to the beach, he jumps in the water. When he takes off his uniform and I say it's time to play, then he's ready to go and he wants to say hello to everybody and wants to get into everything. And I needed to see that in life because I need to know that it's going to be okay if I take this uniform off. I can still live a productive life. You know, it's going to be okay. I know you're yawning. It's going to be okay that that I evolve into another type of human being. You know, it's someone different than just being a sailor in the United States Navy, right? So that's another thing he's taught me. Also, do you want me to talk about the massage part right now, or?
Yeah, it's one of the things we're going to do for our activity. We're going to give you a chance to massage your dogs, and give you some pointers on the importance of when you are spread out around the room here. We're going to do this. When you are massaging the dog, think about yourself and your own breathing and stuff. Sondra's actually studying to be a massage therapist, so she's going to share some things before you actually get to work with your individual dogs.
So one of the things is my first dog, Sade, I was suffering from military sexual trauma that happened in Boston, and I got her in Italy when I got stationed after Boston, and I was shut down, and she would put her paw on me, like slap me almost, like, hey, will you please touch me? And I was like, what? It didn't even dawn on me that that's what I was supposed to do. And so he's like acknowledging that you can touch me. And so Sade taught me that touching a dog is going to be okay. I'm going to get unconditional love back. I'm not going to get hurt by it, right? And then to even go any further, once I started getting into contact of touching a dog, wow, I'm more present, am I? Because now I'm actually looking at the dog and I'm seeing his response. But at the end of the day, it's so soothing, right? Because the contact, the senses of touching something that's soft and touching something that's breathing. You can also, I realize sometimes when I'm just petting him, I start to breathe in the same kind of way he's breathing, right? Just kind of slower. Like already, if you can tell, like I've gotten a lot calmer just by coming down to here, right? Then when I first started talking, I was a little nervous. I stuttered about one word or two. So, but that's the thing, is like once I get engaged with him, the world becomes different for me. And so one of the things that I do, especially like if we're out for a long time and we're in classes and I'm starting to get nervous, I actually start to massage his ears a little bit. And I just stroke his ears like that. But it's something that's calming, and he seems to really like it. But I also noticed when I started to groom, because that's part of the book, is to learn how to groom your dog and everything. Just grooming the dog every day also, one, gives you a sense of ownership, but number two, you're the pack leader and you're taking care of the pack, right? So the more that you actually take care of the dog, the more the dog is going to respect you, because he's like, you're taking care of me, now I'm going to take care of you, let me do my job, right? So that's one of the things that I thought was really calming, is actually brushing the dog, because Bobby loves it, but also I get to, one thing I get to do is I get to see if there's anything wrong with the dog, like if there's anything that's happened to him. I also start massaging the feet, because the thing is, Sade, my other dog, she hated her feet. Something happened with her, and so she got abused of some sort where she just didn't like her feet touched at all. And so it took me years. It took me all the way up until about 10 years old, where she would allow me to massage her toes. But I realized this is kind of important, because what if Bobby stepped on something yesterday and all of a sudden he started limping for a second, and I'm like, uh-oh, call the police, maybe we should get the ambulance. No, for real, I was that crazy about it. But I immediately went down, and as soon as I touched him, I was calmer because he wasn't yelping, and I went there and I checked it, and because I've been starting to massage his feet and stuff like that, I found what was bothering him, and I took it right out, and it was like nothing. It was like no problem whatsoever. And so he was just like, thanks, Mom, and gave me a little lick, and we kept going. But if I didn't touch him all the time and like make sure that everything is good, plus I can tell his breathing's good. The more that you know about your dog, the more that you know about yourself. Because if you are present enough to understand what's going on with the dog, then you can slowly be like, wow, my heart's racing a little bit, or you know, I'm a little edgy, or you know, it just, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, because that's how I feel about it. What do you think?
Great, thank you. Are there any questions you'd like to ask Sondra? As you can see, she's very open. She's willing to accept any questions.
Yeah, I don't know what walks of life anyone's going with and dealing with, but I just want you guys to know that there's the power of love is such an exceptional thing, and at the end of the day, if you just want to give yourself the opportunity to know that you deserve the prospects of having a dog and being an owner. In the beginning, I thought that maybe I wasn't responsible enough to own a dog. You know, I was like, that's too much responsibility. It is the most best friend negotiation that I could have ever gotten in my entire life. Like, I look forward to waking up in the morning. When I get up in the morning, I'm like, good morning, good morning. And I give him all the kisses that he can possibly give me because he likes to kiss. And so at the end of the day, instead of kissing a lot of strangers, he gets to kiss me in the morning. But I also realize that I need affection. And the more that I give him affection, the more he gives me affection. So it really shows me the best thing. And I honestly believe that I've gotten better being unconditional loving to others and human beings because of the relationship that I'm having with Bobby, by far.
Thank you, Sondra.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.